So, you're thinking about buying a home along Ocean Avenue in Wells, Maine? Well, in this video, we're going to take you from the beginning to the end of Ocean Avenue and provide you with inside information on what it's like to live down there. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you some drone footage that I took along the beach and along the rocks, looking back at all of the beautiful homes. So you don't want to miss out on that. And we're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living in southern Maine, then click subscribe and tap the bell so that you'll be the first to learn about the current market in southern Maine. We get calls and text messages every day from people just like you looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or our favorite, schedule a Zoom. We're happy to help you make the smooth move to southern Maine. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's familiar with what we're talking about today. This area along the beach in Wells is called Ocean Avenue, so we're going to be covering that. Now there's 4 ways to get to this road. The first way is to come down the mile road, which is the most common usually if you're coming from the highway. You're trying to avoid Route 1, right, because it's congested during the summertime. So you'll go down Mile Road, hang a right on Webhannet, and go to the very end and pick up Ocean Avenue there. The second way, which is the way I did it today, is to come down Eldridge Road and then hang a right on Ocean Avenue. And I'm going to be showing you the video footage starting from right there. The third way is to shoot down Furbish, and the last way is to shoot down Bourne. So there are 4 ways to get to the beach, and the reason why you need to know about these 4 ways is because you're going to be trying to avoid Route 1 in the summertime because of traffic. It's a lot of congestion up there. So, all right, so let's get started with the video footage. Okay, here we are. We're on Eldridge, and we'll take this right here. There's Ocean Avenue. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to speed up this video so I can get right to Webhannet and kind of start the video from there as I head down to the rocks. That lighthouse on the left is where my parents worked when I was a kid. They were in real estate. Okay, now the road takes a sharp right. We're on the rocks, and the houses on the right have a nice view of the ocean. And there's something to be said for no parking, but actual traffic going by your house. I kind of like that. When people are walking, I can wave to them. I got to know my neighbors when I lived down here on the beach. All right, so now it's going to cut back and go behind the houses. These houses, there's about 12 or so houses that are on the rocks. Okay, so they get a lot of protection from the ocean because of the rocks. And then it's going to stay like this all the way to the very end when we hit a parking lot. Now, on the left-hand side, you're going to see some public ways, and you want to pay close attention to where the public ways are, because that's basically, if you decide to live on the right, see there's Tibbetts on the right, there's a public way on the left, and basically if you live down on Tibbetts, that's how you're going to get to the beach, right? Because, you know, that's a big deal to some people. They want to go to the beach a lot. They want to make sure they're close to a right of way. And some of these areas of the beach, they do not have a lot of public ways. So beyond Eldridge, this is Furbish on the right. That takes you back up to Route 1 as well. And there's only 3 of these streets off of Ocean Ave that will bring you up to Route 1. We just covered 2 of them. So now we'll keep heading down, and Tibbetts, which was running parallel with this road, just turned into South Tibbetts. All right. Now, as we flow down to the beach, the next turn to go up to Route 1 will be Bourne Avenue. You'll notice on the left that there are still, similar to Atlantic Ave, there are beach houses in front of beach houses, just because back before they got stringent about zoning, sometimes people would split off the part of their parking lot and lawn for another beach house so they could make more money on their property. Most of the houses on the left, when they sell, they get torn down. They get torn down and rebuilt. So clearly on the left, you are seeing some older homes, but a lot of these homes, from being down here and really paying attention to things in the last 20 years, I can tell you that a tremendous amount of these homes on the left and on the right are brand new. They've been torn down, or if they're original, they get lifted up a lot too. So this stop sign, this is Bourne Avenue. Bourne Avenue takes you, this is the last right-hand turn. If you're heading south, like towards Agunquit, you're going to avoid Route 1 like the plague, because on the weekends or even during the weeks during the summertime, it can get really congested on Route 1. So a lot of people use this corridor of Ocean Ave, Webhannet, to basically bypass as much of Route 1 as possible, especially if you're going to Hannaford's. There's no reason to go to Route 1. Or you can go up Eldridge, which is where we started, and a little bit of Route 1, and you take 9B if you want to get to Sanford, if you want to hit Walmart or some of the bigger grocery stores there. Save a little bit of cash too if you're going to buy a bunch of groceries for the week. So on the left, directly oceanfront, and on the right, directly on the Marsh. And I have to tell you, if you're not renting your property out and you really want a beautiful view, there's a strong argument that a view of the Marsh is absolutely breathtaking. Because looking out of the ocean, especially at night, it's dark. There's no lights out there. There's nothing. Of course, if you only come into the house in the summertime, no big deal. It's beautiful weather. But if you're living here year round, personally, I had both when I had my house. I was on the Marsh and on the beach. So I had both. And I was glad my dining room and my kitchen, because I spent a lot of time in there, I had a nice view of the Marsh. I'd see deer out there sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the drone and take some footage along the beach from here. And then I'm going to shoot back up to where the road was along the rocks and take some video footage up there for you guys as well. So give you an idea of how things are laid out on the beach, and you get an idea of how close together the homes are in comparison to like Webhannet and Atlantic Ave. Now, this beach, I'm going to fix the lighting right here. This beach is all private when you go to the right like this. So when you come down that walkway, you see over there to the left where you see that black car in that corner. Yeah, there we go. The public beach is to the left from that walkway. To the right, you see those signs on the seawalls. They're basically telling people, yeah, we don't want you loitering in front of our seawall. You're free to walk along this beach, but you cannot stop, set up an umbrella and a beach towel or whatever and, spend the day out here without permission. Because it's all private beach all the way to the rocks. To the left, behind the camera, that goes all the way to Ogunquit, and there's no houses, so lots of privacy. Really plenty of beach, too, more than enough for the amount of parking that's out there, so it's really not much of a problem. And this is March, so what you're seeing here, see how they all got their stairs out still? So the high tide actually stops right before their stairs. Some areas of the beach in Wells, you cannot leave your stairs out all year round because they'll get ripped off by the tides. And I've lost, on my beach house, I lost my stairs once. So you have to be careful of that. You'll also see seaweed piled up. That seaweed is, it just kind of comes and goes. Sometimes it'll deposit like a tremendous amount in front of the beach houses, and it'll stink awful. And it'll stay there for a week or two sometimes before the tide comes. It's moving real good and it just takes the seaweed away. So that gives you an idea of the south end of the beach here on Ocean Ave. Okay, I'm going to head back up to the north end of Moody Beach and take some drone footage of the homes on the rocks. And what's going to happen here is I'm just going to pan down to show you the first dozen or so homes that are on the rocks. These homes get a lot of protection from the ocean because of those rocks, and they're still close to the beach, guys. So then what I'll do is I'll just sort of glide the drone to the left. You see some people have a seawall right there, the three houses, and then it's going to fairly quickly, it's just going to turn to sand. So these houses are still Ocean Ave. One of the houses towards the end is called On the Rocks. I always really like that. And there's your public access right there, dead center. And then you can see all these seawalls are new. So what does that tell you? That tells you there's been some pretty rough storms. And there's still some rocks, some old seawalls on the left there that are sitting on the ground. And basically more sand will come in July. Quite a bit more sand will actually come in. You see it more on other beaches, but you want to be aware of that. And look at the piles of seaweed. Yeah, and it can move. Like I said earlier, it'll move. And then, of course, off in the distance there is Webhannet. And then way off in the distance, way across what looks like the entire ocean, that's Kennebunk and into Kennebunk Port. The homes in this area start, under $1 million and can go up if they're directly on the ocean for $2 million or more. And our team just doesn't see those prices dropping at all. So this is still an excellent time to buy. And remember, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom. And until next time, we hope to show you around town.